Today, I really want to talk about some of the things that are going on in Cuba with the protests that have seemingly died down, but also everything that's going on right now with essentially the Castros wanting to have Western activists who are pro-communist on the island. There's a big caravan that came down with supplies. A lot of them are prominent Democrats, liberals, Greta Thunberg, basically praising everything that's going on in the capitalist regime. And it just begs me to wonder how much the Cuban people actually view this as a political stunt. How much of the supplies are they actually going to see? But what we are really looking at right now is that we need to talk about the brutality that the Cuban regime is putting on people who are teenagers and who are posting on social media, and how they are putting them in prison for 15 to 20-year sentences just for talking against the government on social media, not even going on the streets. So the government finds them, they apprehend them, and they put them in prison with 15 to 20-year jail sentence. Meanwhile, influencers are going to the island from the West, streaming about how great communism is, when young people are sitting in jail to this day for voicing their opinions on social media that the government seems is anti-revolutionary. So we talked about over the course of Easter coming up and how the Catholic Church was pressuring the Castro regime to release political prisoners. So they only released 51 when there's a sum of about 1,150 that the US government is in jail for mostly life sentences. So when you protest in America, you burn down a school, you burn down a government officials building like in 2020, you get a slap on the wrist, you get, sent out on the street because they say, oh, this is a valued protest. But if it happens in Cuba, these people who are, hitting their pans and pots in the streets, they're going out there knowing that if the Cuban government catches them or sees them, they will go to prison for the better part of 15 to 20 years. And I have friends who have been in prison for that very thing, talking against the Cuban government. So what does it mean for young people? Young people are really done with communism, and to the point that they're going to the streets, risking their lives, risking their freedom, all for the cause of the Cuban regime to fall. Now, people might romanticize the Castros and think about, oh, the revolution was so ideal, but it doesn't work. And the communism that our colleges in America and Europe, idolize the communist regime and the communist system, they're the only ones who are romanticizing this and making it about, anti-capitalist agendas, that the system works. But it never worked. It never could work and never will work. So today's the 27th of March. A lot of estimates have predicted that they're going to completely run out of fuel by the end of March. If that's the case, there's going to be a period of time where if the United States does not intervene, things could go horribly wrong as far as generating electricity to hospitals. So we're going to keep in touch. We're going to continue to look at this on a day-by-day basis. And these uploads will go live a day after, just because YouTube doesn't let you post them the same day. So if you guys are liking the content, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you guys have anyone in Cuba that you care about, or if you're just following the news, or if you're enjoying the press. If you think the press that's coming out of Cuba is correct. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.